Mission begins in 30 seconds.
Hello and welcome everybody to another Electronic Revolution TV broadcast, otherwise known as e-rev TV. We're glad you all could be joining us tonight as we're bringing you some Team Fortress 2 coverage. Should end up being a great matchup as we're going to be watching the Doctors take on Charles in Charge. Two teams that are sitting 3-0 on top of the CEVO league right now. So both teams vying for the money on the CEVO side. Again, should be a great matchup tonight. I'm joined by Bamando and Daddy Fat Sex. Hi guys, how we doing? And we're also, as usual, casted by the greatest Limex. So thanks everybody for being on board. Also in the background, we have Boobs doing our shout outs. All of us should be on IRC, so if you want to hear your name shouted out live and on the air, you can definitely PM Boobs or myself. I am Big Daddy Shanks, otherwise known as e-rev Shanks on IRC. Pound e-rev is the place where you're going to find us. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Bamando. How are we doing tonight, buddy?
Very good, mate, very good. Looking forward to this matchup. It's actually my first TF2 cast after coming in from 2142, so I'm very excited about this one.
That's right, and we are going to be casting CP. Well, this is week 6 of CEVO, so these are the last 2 weeks before, I believe, the playoff seeding starts happening. But what we're going to do is I'm going to hand it over to you, Daddy Fat Sacks. How we doing tonight? Why don't you kind of give us a little rundown on the map and give us a little rundown on what we're going to see tonight.
All right, I'm very excited to be doing this cast tonight. It's my second TF2 cast. This is actually my very first cast with Shanks, which is what really gets me excited because his voice gets me completely aroused. So God willing, this match goes the whole 60 minutes, and I will be completely soaking wet the whole time. All right, so as far as this map goes, tonight we're on capture points. Well, there's 5 different cap points. There's going to be the mid, which is in the middle of the train station, and then both sides are pretty much identical. There's going to be blue, we'll be referring to it as blue 2 and red 2, which is going to be the second base coming out, and blue 1 and red 1, which will be that first cap point right outside of the spawn points. Most of the action tonight will be happening in the center at mid or train station. That's the longest flag to take, and as you branch out, the flags start to become cap a little bit quicker, especially that last cap point. That's with a scout on it. It takes about 3 seconds. So.
Yeah, things do happen pretty quickly once you get a scout on that last capture point, and usually you get a scout on there. It's almost a guaranteed capture. And again, for those of you who aren't aware of how this works, we are playing basically till first team to 4. Once the team hits 3, I believe, then we switch sides and continue on. And you know, if it's basically a tie, you can still have a tie on this map, but we do switch sides after the first team goes to 3. But if somebody hits 4, then that's going to end the match there, and you're going to see a winner. Now, this is a relatively small map. People can move across pretty quickly, so we very well could see some very fast action here tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give you a roster rundown here as everybody's kind of doing their screenshots here required by CEVO. Looking over on the Doctor's side, we got Wise Guy, MTT, Northman, Anomaly, Robwiz, and Dr. George. Robwiz, I'm actually, I know him. He's on my X-Fire list. I've casted him over on the Call of Duty 2 side, so it's good to see some of those guys playing this game because I'm still pretty new at it as well. And Amanda, why don't you run us through on the Charles in Charge side, what we got over there?
For Charles in Charge, we have all the Charles in Charge pictures, pretty pictures on their profiles. Actually, they're making me laugh. We've got the Spawn, the 5, Zoalord, Stingray, Supramant, Panzer, and Colt 45.
Yeah, one of the things those guys say is Scott Baio for life. I guess you got.
I think that's Stingray who gets to be Scott today.
Yeah, that's right. But for those of you young guys out there, that was Charles in Charge was that really stupid program back in 1984, I believe was when it was. But anyways, original name. But looking at the Doctors, very well-known team out there with Return of Castle Wolfenstein. And from what I hear, they're also Team 3D back from the COD1 days. So you got some gamers here with some huge experience. I'm not real familiar with the Charles in Charge guys, but they do say they've been playing, you know, Team Fortress for 10 years. So looks like they have worked together as a team for a long time. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. It looks like things are going to liven up here. So I'm going to hand it over to Daddy Fatsacks here for the first round. Why don't we start out with the blue side there, Limek?
Looks like I've got 2 scouts, a soldier with a medic over here. Dr. Nit, NTT, is running the dock. Ooh. Looked like Rob Wiz just got a face shot on Supermat.
Yes. Straight away 3 kills there for the Doctors. It's a big cleanup for the Doctors. They got a scout and a demo mount on the cap point, and it looks like they're going to leave those guys straight there and move a scout straight to the red warehouse CP, which is red number 2. We've got scout versus scout here. Wise guy. And there's 2 scouts now for the Doctors, and they take out Colt 45. Wow. 2 scouts capping that point really quickly. We've got a scout moving up towards the top. That's Wise Guy. We do have a heavy coming in through the control point gate, though, on the right-hand side there for the red team. And that's pushed the scouts back. We do have a medic and a soldier on the left-hand side moving in for the Doctors. And that soldier looks like he's in trouble. If he can't, the medic gets taken out. Panzer takes out the medic, which is a big coup for the Charles in Charge team. And it looks like the Doctors are now stuck on this point. But Charles in Charge are going to need to come back out of there real quick if they're going to have a hope into this first point.
Oh, I tell you what, looking at the Doctors, they came through huge with those kills, getting that middle point, and then on the red number 2, they're already working their way in there, and it looks like they got it. Wow, Doctors making fast action there, taking advantage of the dead red players over at Charles in Charge. Scout works his way up to red number 1, takes it down, and there you have it. Doctors take a 1-0 lead, so this very well could be a very fast map tonight there, Bamando.
That's right. This map is pretty notorious actually for going away quickly. It's really all about this middle CP. If you've got evenly matched teams and one of them takes them out on the respawn times just don't give you enough time to get up there, and if you can get into that warehouse quickly enough, then it is game over. One thing I did notice, I don't think we saw an Ubercharge used that whole round actually, which was surprising to me. I would have thought that we would have had a big Ubercharge battle on the middle CP there, but not this time by the looks of it.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. I was kind of curious to see where the Ubercharge was going to come into play, but it never did.
Just as we say that, I did hear an Ubercharge fire off for the Doctors now. We've got their soldier getting flung up in the air now, and Doctors are all over this CP. It doesn't look like they're being contested by Charles in Charge. The heavy for Charles in Charge has just run away. We have a triple cap there for the Doctors, very quick. Now we have a 5 times cap with a scout, counting for 2 of course. And they're moving out straight away. Scout already occupying the next CP. This red 1, and Wise Guy taking out Spawn and that's it. That's it for Charles in Charge on that red 2 CP.
Now
they're going to have a heck of a time here. Unbelievable. So they're already in the red number 2 right now. They got that one down. They're heading to finally try and make that last push to red number 1. And if you missed it, actually the Doctors had a team ace there. All of Charles in Charge was dead as the Doctors moved into red number 2. Now it looks like red number 2 is making their way and trying to take that down. But no! Wow, the Doctors did make it in, and they make the second capture, so they didn't take red number 2 down in time, as now the Doctors have a 2-0 lead. Again, this could be a very fast match. Doctors look very, very much on top of things right now and look like they're dominating. So Charles in Charge looking to really reorganize here, try and rethink their strats here, as they are just getting dominated on that middle point. And, you know, that battle to the middle point is so key, and they're just not coming in right now and doing what they need to do.
Yeah, you see Charles in Charge almost had that the red 2 CP right back there, but clutch headshot from the Doctor's sniper there on the Charles in Charge heavy really turned that around and basically let their scout take that point.
Oh, and if you missed that, Rob Wiz had a headshot right before the round started. He was sniping through the train there, as it looks like Blue is going to capture again. Team Ace once again, as all of Charles in Charge is down. The Doctor's moving into red number 2. We've got a scout in there. Let's see, that's Dr. Wise Guy. He's got it right now. Looks like they are going to make a final push into red number 1. Let's see if they can do it, as the Charles in Charge team is finally getting to respawn in there. It looks like they have a heavy with a medic right on top of red number 1, but man, it's going to be really tough as everybody's all charged up. Looks like the Doctors are moving in, and now they got an Uber moving in, so they have Ubered up. They are moving into red number 1. Looks like they may take it after all. They have to move the heavy out of there, but it's not happening just yet. They've taken him down, and wow, we got a huge battle going down here at red number 1, and there you have it. Blue takes yet another one, and just what seems to be effortless by them, they go up 3-0.
That's fantastic.
There will be a
teamwork
side
by the
switch now.
Doctors.
Sorry, go ahead, Fat Sacks.
Well, I was just saying that's fantastic teamwork by the Doctors. They're doing a great job moving around this map. They're getting people on on the mid. They're going for the kills first, making sure they clear up the team. And then they've got Dr. Wise Guy. He's always the lead scout, and he's pushing up. He's on top of that next flag as soon as mid is capped. So they're taking this pretty quick because they've got some fantastic teamwork and some good shots.
Yeah, and if you take a look at the leaderboard right now, looking at the Doctor's side, we have Rob Wiz was leading it, but now the scores have reset, so was going to run the score rundown, but that's not going to happen anymore. But everybody just doing a huge job over on the Doctors, and Charles in Charge, there were some people there. Most of them, if not all, were in the single digits as far as score goes. So here we are, Doctors on the red side, Charles in Charge on the blue side. We have about 15 seconds left until we have this huge battle here in the middle. I'll turn it back over to you, Bamando. Why don't you bring us in with the start of the round?
Yeah, we've got Charles in Charge Panzer here defending the train, but this is where he got taken out last time by Rob Wiz, so he looks like he managed to suppress him now, and they're going through the gates. In through the gates now, we've got two scouts going straight past the CP for the Doctors. Very interesting. Looks like they're going to try to track down the medic. And we do have an Uber charge here for Charles in Charge. Very different kind of different play out here. They have an Uber charge ready. They're on the CP right now. We've got a counter Uber from the Doctors. So we've got the battle of the Ubers on the CP, but we do have one Doctor, Dr. Anomaly, the soldier, on the CP. We have a scout as well, and Northman's on there with the soldier, and we've got a 3-man cap now for the Doctors. That was actually a much closer fight than last time, and they are moving out.
Yeah, that was definitely a lot closer, but one thing, if you noticed, the Doctors weren't so as interested on the control point as they were getting the kills, which is what you have to do. You have to make sure you get the kills first instead of standing on that point.
Oh, wow. God, I was just
we do have Charles in Charge making a fight back here on this blue 2 CP, and I think for the first time this match we're actually going to see a recap with a couple of Doctors going down, the scouts, and they're going to need to counterattack. We have every single Charles in Charge member now on this blue 2 CP, so I'm very interested to see what's going to happen here. How are they going to push out? Will they have an Uber ready to go? We've got Panzer as the soldier here getting charged up by his medic Stingray, and there is a big fight over this second well here.
Yeah, definitely looking at Stingray on the leaderboard. He's doing his job as he's already got 7 on his score, and Blue, though, definitely Charles in Charge doing their job defending the point, but it looks like we have somebody on the Doctors sitting on the blue 2 capture point looking to take over. They got a medic on there. They also have a sniper. Somebody goes down. Rob Boy's getting a headshot. Panzer coming back. Lots of kills going on, and it looks like Red is taking over that blue 2 capture point as they are looking to move in and make a cap and put an end to this match as it is 3-0 to the Doctors. We got a scout moving into the capture point. We have a heavy on the Charles in Charge side looking to take down that scout, but no, there you have it.
Over.
Looks like the Doctors made their way in, and they're going to take the win. Unbelievable job. Beautiful shooting by the Doctors as they put down Charles in Charge in huge fashion there. So, man, I got to give it to the Doctors. They sure knew what they were doing there.
Yeah, just excellent teamwork. I mean, what we've noticed in this game more than any other is that the one-on-one skill actually matters a lot less in this game than it does in a lot of other ones. There's a lot less twitch involved. It's actually a lot more to work with cohesion, and the Doctors have definitely got that. They're all moving in together. They know their roles. Each player knows what they're going to be doing next in a certain situation. If they take 3 kills straight off the bat, you can straight away see Wise Guy moving on to that next CP. And as we saw, it's so hard to push them back. Once they've taken that mid and then the second CP, then pushing out of your main is just so hard. We even actually saw Charles in Charge get 4 bodies, or at least 3 bodies and a scout on that mid CP halfway through that round. But then we saw straight away the Doctors were able to just recap with that fight because the CPs cap at such different rates.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to remind everybody to get on pound E-rev on the Game Surge Network. Get us your shout-outs as we do have some time here. God, the game ended so fast. We're gonna give a little extra time to get your shout-outs live and on the air as we continue here with our game recap. Also, www.e-rev.tv. Go up top, hit the forums, register on our forums. We'd really appreciate your support. And also, if you'd perform pound E-rev on the Game Surge Network and stay on our channel, really helps us out. So anyways, we'll get to your shout-outs here in a little bit. Daddy Fat Sex, what do you got to say for that match there? I mean, I'm pretty much breathless.
I am too. That, you know, I was told that these are 2 of the very top teams in TF2 right now. I really hope that that's not really true, because if that is, then the Doctors are going to just roll this league completely. They just dominated there. There was no stopping them.
No, I would definitely agree with you. Is that these are two of the most talked about teams on the Team Fortress 2 side. So, you know, it may have been an off night for Charles in Charge. We'll see. I don't know if they had their starting 6 in there. You know, who knows? But I tell you what, Doctors just actually absolutely came through in dominating fashion, and they come out with the win. And if that's the case, I see the Doctors moving into the finals here. We are in Week 6. We'll see what's to come in Week 7. We will keep you posted on www.e-rev.tv, and we'll let you know what we got coming up for next week's CEVO match for TF2. Yeah, again, very exciting evening. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hand it over to Boobs. You got any shout-outs going on over there, buddy?
I do. I have a couple shout-outs here. Let's see where to start. Panzer from Charles in Charge would like to shout out to shout out to his school, Trinity University, home of the 15 lateral miracle in Mississippi.
Alrighty.
Yeah. And then we got a shout out to e-rev Gatorville from Dangle. You are my hero.
All right, what else you got? Let's go ahead and whip through them.
Yeah, I'm going through here. They're coming in now. Let's see. Shout out to Docs Rob Wiz and 50 Cal from Muse. Yeah, COD4.
Yeah, I play with those guys, so they're getting stoked for COD 4. We'll see if Rob Wiz actually sticks with the Doctors on the TF2 side, or if he's actually going to play COD 4. We'll see, but it looks pretty good on the Doctors, that's for sure.
Oh yes, definitely. And we have a shout out from Comedy Option, Dharma Cafe, best place to get free coffee. And
all right.
That is it.
Looks like I got one from Anarchy. Says, shout out to Mayday. He will outdo Limex someday. So there you go, buddy. And let's...
Nobody can ever touch Limex.
I don't know, Bamando, you got any shout outs? Then Daddy?
I had that Anarchy one. That's the one I was going to say too, but you beat me to it.
Big Daddy Bamando.
I actually don't have any coming in right now. I'm just checking now. I had to alt tab out of the game and check on my Xfire because silly Steam won't give me Xfires in game.
Okay. Well,
one thing I want to talk about. I'm hoping maybe this can draw up some some shout-outs. Well, I meant to say something about it earlier. I want to know how the community feels about criticals in this game, if they think that they should be taken out. I noticed a couple times where criticals made a little bit of a difference. They didn't change the round or anything like that, but just want to know what everybody thinks about them.
Yeah, it's a really good point actually, because I'm noticing there's actually a few discussions on forums about that through various forums, all regarding competition play. And when you look at these 5 CP maps in particular, we see how important it is to, in fact, I've never played a scrim or a round on one of these 5 CP maps where a team has come back to win the match after losing that first engagement. I've seen it go backwards and forwards a few times, but it seems like a team can never fully recover. And that's when you've got to think that if you pull off a lucky critical on that first engagement to take that center CP, either you take out the medic, which is probably the most important player on the team, then you've got to say that a lucky critical on a medic can actually turn a match around. So when you're talking about a match, let's say a final game for a big prize pool, you've got to say that those criticals are pretty vital. So I'm interested to see as well what the community says about that.
I do have one shout out from Trav. He says, "Crits be gone." Looks like we got a couple people saying. Got one from Primal here. He says that they should be adjusted. Seeing if I was hoping we'd round up a little bit more activity on that topic, but I do know if you look around at the forums, you can definitely see a lot of talk.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to bring one of the doctors on. I've been talking to him on X-Fire, so I'm going to bring him live, and we'll discuss a little bit with him, since he obviously knows what's going on with the game, because they won in such dominating fashion. We're going to bring in Rob Wiz here very shortly, so continue with our discussion here, guys, before we bring him in.
Just generally, I've speaking to my guys on TG7, they said the same thing. I think a lot of them don't mind them in pub play. I think a lot of players seem to think that the pub element of the game is a lot of fun, and criticals add a bit of a fun element and an interesting element into a bit of randomness into fights. But in competition play, I think the general consensus is that people want to see skill shine out more than blind luck, and I've got the feeling that criticals, because although they're slightly predictable, they're not 100% predictable. You can't tell when you get a critical, so there's not really a lot of skill involved in pulling off those criticals, and I feel like players feel like they shouldn't really belong because of the luck element.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And Trav brings up an idea. I've heard this before as well. He says that there was an idea suggested about being able to store criticals, and then be able to use it whenever you want, almost like Uber, which would take out, it would involve timing and take out the random factor. I think that's an interesting idea.
May add a little bit of strategy too, but we do have in the studio Dr. Rob Wiz from the Doctors. Welcome aboard tonight. Congratulations on the win.
Hey, thanks.
So we were just kind of giving a recap. Pretty dominating win you had there. I think the community was looking for a little bit of a closer game, so thanks for cutting our cast so short tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm sure that worked out for your benefit. So you guys are 4-0 going into Week 7. Guys are definitely in pretty good fashion for going into playoffs here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the Doctors, who they are, and what your guys' plan is going into this tournament and maybe other tournaments as well.
Well, the Doctors are a group of players that have been playing for over 5 years, I think. I don't even know. It's been a long time. I just joined them like a month ago, which is surprising because I never thought I would get the chance to play with them. But all of them are really good. They have good brains. They're all really smart. They got the aim. They can just pick up any new game and dominate it. And like that's what we've been doing with TF2. We all really enjoy playing it, and we've all just picked it up, and we don't really go in with any strategy. We just do our own thing, and everyone knows what they should do, and they do it all well.
So they obviously didn't pick you up for your personality then, right?
Hell no.
So, anyways, our last discussion we were just talking about it was the criticals. What's your opinion on them? Do you think they should be in the game? Do you think they should be out of the game? Or do you think maybe there should be a mod to have a choice of when to use them?
Personally, I don't think anyone on our team likes them. I mean, it goes both ways, you could say that, but I don't know, some days it seems like you never crit and they always crit, and it's just so frustrating. So personally, I really think they should be removed. It's just really annoying.
Bamando, Fatty, got any questions here?
No, I guess that's the only thing I was going to ask was the difference between competition and public. I assume you're talking about competition play. Do you play a lot of public at all, or do you even consider that to be an option? Is public do criticals make the public game a little bit more fun, or do you believe that criticals just don't belong in the game, full stop?
Oh, public? Yeah, I think they should be in public. I mean, that's really fun when you just shoot a rocket and like 5 people die. It's great for public, but competition, no. I think they should be out of competition.
Fatty?
Well, yeah, I agree with that completely. I also think they should be taken out of competition. Pubs is another matter, but I don't know. I think I'd like to see what they've got going on as far as mods and all that.
All right, I got a couple of people asking me, Rob. They're wondering if you're going to be competing in COD 4 as well as TF2, or it's just a to tickle your fancy for temporarily till the middle of November.
I'd love to play both. Right now, we're all playing TF2, and if we like COD 4, that's probably what we're going to play if it gets big. But like, there's going to be COD 4 and TF2 going on at the same time, so I don't know. I think we'll play both for a while. I think we'll try to. I mean, we don't really have to practice TF2 that much. I mean, practicing most of the time is honestly a waste of time because some of the teams are just I don't want to sound cocky, but they're really bad, and it's kind of like you're not really gaining anything. You're kind of losing more than you're gaining in these scrims.
Well,
so
let me see what you're saying. So you're saying this is more of individual skill type game than it is really strategy.
Well, yeah. I mean, we witnessed it firsthand. I mean, we don't have any strategy at all. We're all good at our classes, and I think that's why we're so successful. I mean, everyone knows what they have to do with their class, and we haven't stratted once, so yeah, I would say it's more individual skill, definitely.
Well, we definitely appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts. You got any big shout-outs you want to tell everybody out there?
Buy COD 4 and play it competitively, so it's big. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, and for anybody that wants to know, doctors are on Pound the Doctors. We're also on Pound e-rev on the Game Surge Network. We're going to do some last shout-outs if anybody's got any. I don't have any more on my end. How about you, Boobs? Got any last ones out there?
I've got nothing.
I've got one
Anybody else?
shout out.
Daddy.
I got one from Anarchy. He wants to give a shout out to Anger. Get in game after the cast. He wants to kick your butt in some TF2.
Sounds like a challenge.
Well, I guess that just about does it for tonight. Again, I want to thank Bamando, Daddy Fat, Sax, and Limek, of course, for doing our video tonight, and Boobs for doing our shout-outs. So this is Big Daddy Shanks saying, everybody, have a great night. Appreciate you watching us tonight, and have a great evening.